There's a scene that repeats in other people's lives, and maybe in yours. Someone walks confidently toward a cliff that everyone sees except them. The contract that smelled like a scam, the relationship that screamed abandonment, the partner whose history was written in red flags. And always afterward, the same question: how did I not see it? The answer hurts but liberates, because you trusted the tourist map instead of doing your own topographic survey. This isn't about mystical intuition. It's about becoming a cartographer of human reality, mastering the art of reading the real territory behind the official maps everyone shows. While most navigate with maps drawn by others, you'll learn to chart your own with the precision of someone who knows their psychological survival depends on it. The first principle of conscious cartography is brutal. Everyone lies. Not necessarily out of malice, but out of social survival. We show the map of who we want to be, carefully hiding the territory of who we really are. This disconnect between map and territory, between presented self and actual self, is the source of all modern relational pain. The trap isn't that they lie. The trap is that we believe the map without ever verifying the terrain. We believe the "I trust you," while their decisions systematically exclude us. We buy the "I support you," while their energy abandons us at crucial moments. We sign the "I'm loyal," while their history whispers of previous escapes and repeated abandonments. We live intoxicated by pretty maps that don't match the territory. And we pay the price with lost opportunities, surprise betrayals, and that persistent feeling of being the last to know, the one who arrives at the edge of the cliff only when there's no ground left beneath their feet. The fundamental problem is that we've been trained to be psychological tourists, accepting prefabricated maps instead of becoming explorers who verify the terrain with their own instruments. This cartographic dependence keeps us in a perpetual state of strategic vulnerability, always at the mercy of others' honesty in a world where consistency is often a luxury, not the norm. Cartographic mastery doesn't require supernatural powers. It requires changing your instrument, putting down the dictionary of spoken words, and picking up the sextant of pure observation. This means developing a new form of attention, a strategic attention that operates in multiple dimensions simultaneously, creating a rich, three-dimensional image of the human reality around you. Begin with the language of the body. What the mouth silences, the body screams. Observe what happens when words say yes, but feet point toward the door. When the smile affirms trust, but crossed arms scream defense. The body doesn't lie with the elegance of words. It betrays with the crudeness of biology. Your job isn't to detect lies, but to map congruences. Where words, tone, and body language align, there's solid ground. Where they separate, there are emotional geological faults that announce coming relational earthquakes. Next time you interact with someone crucial, split your attention. 30% on their words, 70% on their physiology. The breathing that accelerates when making promises, the hands that search for something to touch when evading, the posture that expands with truth and contracts with omission. These are your first topographic data points. Then move to the river of decisions, following what they do, not what they say. Every human being has an unshakable behavioral north, the real direction where their decisions flow when no one's watching. Your most reliable compass is simple. Ignore the declared compass and follow the compass of recurring behavior. The person who says they value family but never has time for it, their real compass points toward work. The one who promises loyalty but abandons at the first crisis, their true north is self-preservation. This dimension requires cartographic patience, observing the river of decisions over time until the pattern emerges with irrefutable clarity. This isn't about judging. It's about mapping. The territory has no morality. It has topography. And your emotional survival depends on reading that topography accurately, not on hoping the territory becomes kinder. Finally, survey the landscape of context, the patterns that never fail. No action exists in a vacuum. Every behavior is another point in a historical pattern. Your most powerful cartographic question becomes, what movie have I seen before? Is this the 5th time they've promised change without results? The 3rd project they've abandoned at the critical stage? Their habitual pattern under pressure? Context doesn't give you absolute certainty. It gives you topographic probabilities. Knowing you're in territory where 90% have gotten lost before is all you need to choose your route. This dimension transforms past experiences from mistakes into cartographic data. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every broken promise becomes a reference point on your mental map, increasing the accuracy of your future navigation. The wise cartographer doesn't cry for having gotten lost. They're grateful for the new data point that will make it impossible to get lost there again. Theory becomes power when you begin your first autonomous cartography. Consider this operation: 3-layer map. No forced deadlines, following your own rhythm. This isn't a 1-week or 1-month exercise. It's the beginning of a new way of inhabiting all your relationships. Start by choosing your study territory. Select one relevant person in your current life, not out of suspicion or malice, but strategy. Someone whose incongruence costs you energy, time, or peace. It could be your boss, your partner, a family member, an associate. The criterion is simple. Someone whose declared map doesn't match the territory they actually inhabit with you. Then begin the topographic survey. Start recording, mentally or in private notes, the multiple layers simultaneously. The verbal layer, what they say they want, feel, will do. The behavioral layer, what they actually do, decide, prioritize. And the contextual layer, the historical pattern revealed by their previous actions. You don't need to do this 24/7, only during significant interactions. Over time, this process will become automatic, like learning to breathe underwater. As you gather data, identify the geological faults, the places where the layers separate, marking unstable territory. Where they coincide, note the solid ground. The goal isn't to confront, but to understand. Not to change the other, but to navigate them with precision. Over time, you'll develop what seasoned cartographers call terrain sense, the ability to detect incongruences almost instinctively, to feel the faults before they open beneath your feet. Your first act as a conscious cartographer is this: go to the comments and declare, "Initiating autonomous cartography. My study territory is..." Because when you master the art of reading human territories, you stop being a tourist and become a sovereign explorer. At the end of this training, you won't magically guess the future. Something better happens. You'll navigate the present with your eyes open. You'll know how to distinguish between the advertising map and the real territory. The sniper chooses their position. The destroyer establishes consequences. And the cartographer never walks toward visible cliffs, because they have the tools to read the terrain before ever setting foot on it. This is mental alchemy applied to human geography, transforming the lead of naivety into the gold of strategic perception. If you're ready to change identities, From trusting traveler to conscious cartographer, this is your school of psychological navigation. Remember the words of the old surveyor, "Maps lie, the territory never does." Become a student of the territory.